welcome to the Magic Mirror first episode. This is going to be about the Lion King, my own personally experience, my own stuff. So, without further ado, here we go. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. So, the movie came out in 1994. I really enjoyed the movie. I remember that was one of the movies that were the first one that I ever saw in theaters. I remember crying and having a good time with it as well. So yeah, definitely I will recommend you guys going and watch it if you haven't watched it before, because warning spoilers in this episode, of course. Like I really cried when Mufasa dies, and I know like it's based over Hamlet, but I still think it has its own uniqueness to it. And to get the cat out of the bag, or how to say that, I know like it's supposed to look like Kimba the White Lion, or people are saying it looks like that, but I still think like the Lion King has its own, merit, its own storyline. I know like it borrowed a couple of stuff from there, but I think like it has its own charm, or how to say that, and the animation is just so great, and the artwork is just exceptional. And of course, there's the music from Elton John, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? And that's one of my favorite songs ever. And also, there's the Circle of Life. You get that stuck in your head like forever and ever. So, like, that's fun. Something I didn't know about The Lion King was that there's a musical, but I was just like, oh, yeah, of course they have a musical. What movie doesn't have a musical nowadays? So yeah, that was it. Um, Also, something I really enjoyed and remember is the Sega Genesis game. I personally have played this and completed it. So yeah, I it took a long time because there's a lot of difficult levels. There's a level where you have to ride an ostrich. There's level where you have to run from the buffalo, and it's so insane. And of course, there's bats all over in the later games, and lava and stuff like that. And I remember having trouble completing Scar because, like in old days, we didn't have the internet to look up in, and I know like there were game magazines and stuff like that, but we were living out in the country, so yeah, there was not that much to do out there, and we didn't have a lot of money, so it was more like try and error with the stuff. So I remember holding up and right and A and B down, because like this were in the times where we had old school controllers with only A and B, and like your joypad. So yeah, I really enjoyed playing on my Sega Genesis, and Lion King is just one of the games that I really used a lot of time on playing and following Simba through the limelight. Something I also saw online was just like all of the comics and books and storylines. I didn't know about all of these books and comics, so I'm just going to link to the ones that I can find in the description down below. And I'm also going to link to Wikipedia of Lion King, so you can go and read more about it. Also, some of the voice actors from the movie is actually really fun. Mufasa and Sarabi is voiced by the same people that are voicing the king and queen from Coming to America, so that's pretty funny. And yeah, the comic books and the books itself, I didn't know about those. I only knew about the story about how Scar got his scar. I didn't know that there were books written about the movie and like all of this. Also fan content, there's a lot out there. So I would definitely recommend you go and seeing all of this, because like there's a lot of good stuff in between there. So I think like you can get a good with a laugh or cry or whatever out of all of this. So yeah, definitely go and check that out if you haven't. And also, like, something in the old Sega Genesis games that I saw that they actually did really good was the music, because like it's the original soundtrack, just an 8-bit that they used. And I also remember some of the cutscenes were actually I'll not say 8-bit versions of the movie, but I remember seeing clips from the movie, and it fitted to when you completed a level and went to the next level and so on. So yeah, that was really great, and of course it made you wanted to go even further into the game, even though it was hard. Because like in old school games, you only have like 3 lives, and if you didn't complete it, you will start all over again if you didn't take a Simba save, or how to say that. So yeah, maybe I'll show in the Magic Mirror me playing. But elsewise, yeah, I don't know what to say, you guys. I really enjoyed The Lion King. I think like it's a good thing to go and watch, and a good game to go and play and try to play. Like the only game I can talk about is the Sega Genesis version, because like I know there's a lot of games out there with The Lion King, but the only game I have tried is the Sega Genesis version. So yeah, without saying too much, like I know there's games for PC, I know there's games for like Nintendo and stuff like that, and also for I think it was the color, yeah. So yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoyed being an adventure with Simba, and I really enjoyed the original story of The Lion King, of course, and I also have read the Hamlet story before I actually watched the movie and stuff like that. So I knew it was going to be sad, or like when we figured out it had the comparison with it, I think like I was, oh, okay, yeah, I recognize this story, right? But I did have a personal, really good experience, and I still remember going to the theaters and seeing it for the first time. That was exceptional, because like going to the theaters was not something that were common for us, because like we, as I said, didn't have a lot of money, and like it was not something that we did all of the time. So yeah, I really enjoyed going and watching this, and I remember all of my classmates and all of the whole school were talking about The Lion King and stuff like that. So yeah, that's actually all for this episode of the Magic Mirror. I hope you enjoyed this. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog, and it's also going to be more the Sega Genesis version game and stuff like that, because again, I haven't played. I were grown up with the Sega Genesis, so yeah, that's the console I can talk about. Something that's a really good secret is how you go to Scar, and I still remember going into the cave on the far right, the third cave on the far right, then the middle cave, and then the cave to the far left on the third hand, or how to say that, on third on the left. So, and then you were at Scar, and I remember like battling him ferociously and having a lot of trouble getting through of those later levels. I do believe like this is one of the games that becomes like really insanely hard really quick. I also remember trying to complete the Bonsai and Shensi. I think it's the one of the hyenas, 2 hyenas that is in the almost in the start of the game, like the first bosses. And I remember it being like really hard. So yeah, if you wanna have a try on that, I know like there's places where you can download a ROM hack and stuff like that. So you guys enjoy, and do remember that inspiration is right around the corner. Do remember to take care of yourself and loved ones. And that was all for the Magic Mirror episode today. Yeah, okay. Bye!